Good afternoon, everybody. Good day, whenever you're listening to us. This is E. Marcel Portute, and welcome to another edition of the Technical State of Georgia Athletics podcast. Very excited that you're joining us today as we're recording this in the middle of a parking lot in Marietta, Georgia. Got a little time between some work sessions to get this show in, so we're very excited that we can get this in and talk about all things college athletics in the state of Georgia. As always, when you follow everything that we're doing, head to the mothership, thesportsinquirer.net. All of the interviews that you're going to hear today from our show, from Georgia State to Georgia Tech people and everything in between, head to our site. You get the full interviews, you get to see the video. This is the audio podcast. If you want to see me in my very spiffy blue painted room where I live and speak to some really great coaches and players, make sure you head to our site and check all of that out. You can also head to our social media platforms, starting with Twitter and Instagram. Just search Sports Inquirer, all one word. Do a quick search on there, see what we're doing. Like us, subscribe, and all that stuff, and you'll be up to date. Finally, if you want to go to our Facebook as well, social media, same deal, Sports Inquirer, search us, you'll find us, and do what you got to do. But if you want to hear our show on other platforms such as YouTube, SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, and really anywhere that you go to listen to your shows, make sure you search us under Sports Inquirer. That's we're the Sports Inquirer, and you'll find us, and you can get us that way. On today's broadcast, we're going to look at college football and everything going on there. And we'll also look into the volleyball sport, or sport of volleyball, and also look into some soccer as some conference tournaments are coming around very soon for some local teams, and we'll delve into all of that. But let's start with college football, and the Georgia State Panthers had a very impressive 52-34 home win over Louisiana Monroe this past Saturday. Cornelius Brown, the fourth, had 263 passing yards and 4 TDs. Two of those passes for touchdowns went to Cornelius McCoy, who came back from a knee injury, and we'll get to his thoughts later on. But that was a very big win for the team, tied a program record for most points against an FBS opponent. That's at that 52-point mark. Second time this season they've reached that mark. So it's just a very big win for a team that came off of a shutout loss in a really bad way to Coastal Carolina. So we were able to speak with Coach Shawn Elliott, the head man for Georgia State, and get his thoughts on the victory.
Go ahead, Coach.
Certainly, get a conference win right here at home. The way we opened up the game, took control of it, really had the game in control for all of the day. There was a couple blunders in there that kind of let some confidence gain back in them in ULM for whatever reason, and it was a little. The third quarter kind of dragged on a little bit for us. We got to do a better job. Our mentality there was not where it needed to be, but what a great win for our football team. Just a big day. I can't say enough about them. So many times you can take wins for granted, to tell you the truth. You got to enjoy them. You got to celebrate them. You got to understand it's tough. It's a tough job to go out and compete and to put a plan together and get young men to really focus and come out on top. So for our guys to go do it, I'm very proud of them. Like I said, there were some mental flaws there that kind of, I don't know if it says let them back in the game, but they made a valiant effort to try to get back in the game. But I think we responded and came out with a nice win. Nice win.
And that was Coach Elliott discussing the win. And as I said, they're coming off of the shutout loss, giving 50-plus points to Coastal Carolina. So it was a good rebound contest for the Panthers. Here's Coach Elliott's thoughts on that.
Yeah, like I said, winning is, it's tough. Everybody just don't do it. It feels really good, really good. The way we kind of started the game, I was really proud of our team. To come out, I think we jumped up. It was 21-0 or something like that. And to open it up like that was very, very pleasing because we had played just so poorly the week before. To bounce back, a lot of teams could have dragged their heads and could have felt sorry for themselves all week and looked in the rearview mirror. But we pushed forward, we put it behind us, and came out and executed. ULM, they fought hard. They play hard. Coach Viator and his team, they're always capable of beating you. So you have to prepare, you have to focus, and you got to play your best. And I thought we played our best for the majority of the time. Certainly the third quarter was not kind of what we wanted. We got a little chippiness in there with our mouths, which is, for whatever reason, I don't know why. I don't know why we're doing that, but we got to get a stop to that. And we got to make sure we continue to push forward in a positive manner and get better.
And the Panthers also rushed for 263 yards, including 102 by the Sun Belt's leading rusher, Dustin Coates. He's now rushed for more than 100 yards in 4 games this season. So he has really been a strong force for the Panthers' backfield. But also, let's talk about McCoy, who came back from an injury, had a 57-yard reception on his first play of scrimmage, and he had 7 catches for 118 yards. So the third career game of 100-plus yards receiving, and he provided a major boost to the Panthers' offense. Here is McCoy discussing his return.
Man, it's a great feeling. I mean, coming back, with the team, I don't know. I'm just excited to be on the field. That loss really took a toll on us, especially in the receiver room. We didn't feel like we accomplished enough, last week. So I was just trying to bring the energy this week, telling them boys, like, let's get it, let's go. We have to embarrass somebody after that embarrassment. So I was just happy to be back on the field with the guys.
No pressure, right? First play out of the box. You hadn't played in 3 weeks, and there you go.
Yeah, I had to make plays, especially big plays like that down the field. I don't really think they was expecting that. I think they was expecting us to come out and run the ball, but, I had to make a shot. I feel great. I mean, it's always great to get a win, but we just have to keep practicing, especially for this week coming up. I just feel good. Honestly, I feel like we have to step our game up. Every week we come out, first half we be, except for last week, but every other week we come out, first half we killing it. Second half we kind of sluggish. I feel like we have to pick that up a lot, especially coming into this App State week. We have to pick that up a huge bit.
And the Panthers' defense also had a strong effort, producing multiple turnovers and having 6 sacks. So that was a team that gave up 50-plus points the week before. The Coastal able to minimize the effort or minimize the offense of Monroe. So let's hear from defensive lineman Dontae Wilson on the victory.
First of all, just coming off a loss like last week, it's always good to finish the week with a good victory like this and gain our momentum back. And like you said, we have a tough opponent next week against App State, so we just got to take a game like this where we did majority of the things right and just correct the small mistakes that we made throughout the game, and hopefully we just prepare to be almost perfect, if not perfect, next week when we go to Boone. Yeah, we knew they weren't a big running team, and we knew if we just had to stop the run at first, and we knew we were going to get them in passing situations. So our key focus was to get pressure on the quarterback and rattle him. So if we knew if we rattled him, then the game was pretty much in our hands. So that's what we were focusing on all night, and we were very successful at that tonight.
And next up for the Panthers is a home contest against Appalachian State. Stay with our site, and we'll provide up-to-date analysis of that contest. Georgia was supposed to play Missouri this week, but that did not happen. But I think this is a time where they can figure out all of their problems. Look, when I say problems, relatively speaking, if you look at the University of Georgia and the Bulldogs, they're national championship contenders. So them losing to Florida and Alabama, teams that they are supposed to be at least competitive with, and losing both those games pretty handily, that's not a good situation. And it goes all levels. Yes, we know the Stetson Bennett quarterback situation is not the best, and the JT Daniels deal, he hasn't played yet this year, so we know all of that going on. But defensively, giving up the yardage they have against Alabama, and then making Kyle Trask look like Pat Mahomes this past week in that Florida contest, you have a lot of issues there. So we'll see what happens with Georgia when they return to the field. And as I said, they were supposed to play against Missouri but due to positive test and contact tracing and everything that's going on, if you're listening to the show, I'm not a doctor, but we've all become kind of pseudo MDs with the pandemic. They're not having the contest, so we'll see when they can return to the field. But we're looking forward to that. Let's talk about Georgia State men's soccer. The Panthers are the second seed in the upcoming Sun Belt Conference tournament, which begins this Friday. The Panthers ended the regular season with a 1-0 victory over Central Arkansas on November 8th. They actually have a rematch against the Bears in the semifinals of the conference tournament, which starts on Friday. We were able to keep up. We were able to catch up with head coach for the Panthers and Brett Surreny, an exclusive interview. Check it out.
All right, so Brett, the team ended the regular season with a win over Central Arkansas, 1-0. Just how does that feel as you head into the conference tournament?
Yeah, no, it was good. It was nice to respond. Obviously they'd beaten us 2 weeks prior, so to be able to come back and get a good result at home was encouraging. And as you said, in the regular season on a good note, and hopefully able to take that into the conference tournament this weekend.
George Proctor scored a goal for you in the 86th minute, so it was a late game winner. Just what about George and just his continued contributions to the team for you this year?
Yeah, it was a big goal. Obviously crucial time right at the end of the game. George has been doing it for a number of years now. So, we've got a ton of confidence in what he brings to the team. He's emotionally always incredibly engaged, and we certainly lean on him for that. But yeah, he's come up in big moments before, so it was a unbelievable goal. And, but in the same breath, it's something that we've come to expect from him as well too. So it wasn't a total surprise, but it was much needed.
I'm going to speak later on with Logan for my interview. What about him and just what he's meant to the team and helped you have such success this year?
Yeah, just Mr. Consistency, really. He's been a part of a back line that, has been pretty incredible this year. A number of shutouts. I think we've only conceded six goals or something like that all year long. So he's definitely a big part of that. Versatile, able to get up and down the line. He's been really big for us. So someone that easy for us to lean on, and we know what we're going to get from him game in and game out, which is really important at this level.
You mentioned you end the regular season on a clean sheet. You're known so much for your goal scoring, and you have some guys who rank high and nationally and in the conference. But what about the defense of the team getting a lot of shutouts and in that part of the game that doesn't get, it seems like, as much attention?
Yeah, it's interesting, actually. I feel like, at least from a personality side of things, we put a lot of focus on the defensive side. We've been fortunate to score some goals, but I'm from the old school belief of if you don't, get scored on, you don't lose. Like I said, we've been fortunate where we've got some special attacking players that, have been able to put the ball in the back of the net. And, I think collectively led by, goalkeepers in our back line, we've had some good defensive performances as well too. So I think the guys have bought into that, take a sense of pride with getting the clean sheets, and, hopefully that's something that, we can take into Friday and use as a sense of confidence.
Speaking of Friday, you play in the conference tournament. You get Central Arkansas again. Is that beneficial in a way that you've literally seen them a few days ago? Or is it tough because you saw them a few days ago? How do you approach it? Do you try different tactics? How do you prepare for a repeat opponent?
Well, I think I know we know what we're going to get from them at this point. It's three last 4 games we played them 3 times. So I've been around college soccer now for 20 some odd years, and I've been, as a player or coach, never played a team 3 times in a season. So it'll be interesting. Obviously each team has now won a game. I think tactically we probably have a pretty good idea of what each other are wanting to do. I'm sure there'll be, a little bit of adjustments on each side, but when 2 good teams play, which I think both of us are, it comes down usually to the small, minute details. And, I don't expect it to be any different on the game on Friday. And, I just think it has the the added heightened effect of being a conference tournament, and the loser season is over. So I expect it to be a tight game, a competitive game, and we'll need to play well to win. We think very highly of Central Arkansas as a program, and that's no different for this year's team as well.
And also, you've been undefeated at home, and how much of a benefit is that? I believe it's in Atlanta, correct? A tournament that for you?
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, it's in Atlanta, and you're undefeated this year at home. Does that give you a little bit of extra confidence, knowing that you defended your home turf, or at least the city, quite well this year?
Yeah, no, I think we've had a pretty good routine, playing at home. So I think so. I think sometimes in conference tournaments you can look at it both sides. Sometimes being away is good, and you kind of have the camaraderie, and it's really just all about the team because you are away from home. But I also think there's a ton of positives of sleeping in your own bed and keeping to your regular routine that you've had all year long as well too. So, we're hopeful that, we, as you said, we can defend kind of Atlanta, and, we're able to come out and just put our best foot forward on Friday and see where it takes us. Like I said, we'll have to play really well, to get to Sunday, but, I think a couple of good training this week will hopefully put us in a good position to do so.
And that was Brett Surreny, head coach of the Panthers, discussing the team. We also spoke with junior midfielder Logan Luque and talked to him about everything that's going on.
All right, so Logan, let's go back to the Central Arkansas match a few days ago, able to win 1-0. Proctor with a big goal late. How did it feel to get redemption, at least in the regular season, against Central Arkansas after losing to them earlier in the year?
Oh, man, it felt great because that first game I did not think we performed well at all. And so it was really good just to go out there and show them, like, hey, we can compete with the best, you know what I mean? And it was really good revenge feeling as well.
Yeah, another clean sheet. I talked with Coach earlier today, and he talked about the pride the team takes in the defensive effort, and you're a big part of that. What does that entail? What has made this team so good defensively throughout the entire year?
We've had just a lot of guys step up the back line. We do our job. We're not flashy. We just kind of get back, we defend, and we work our tails off. You know what I mean? We also have a huge step up from a freshman, Alex Henderson, playing at center back. He's been incredible this year on and off the field, especially leading that back line, along with George Proctor, our other center back, who's a senior. He just does such a good job leading everyone and making sure everyone's ready to go each game.
What about the defense? You look at the offensive numbers, and the team ranks high in conference and nationally, but you're still able to keep a solid defense. How do you guys have that balance of being able to play forward and score, yet also not concede many goals?
That's just the formation coach puts us in. I mean, when we have the ball, we transition to like a 3-5-2, so we're a little bit more offensive minded. And then as soon as we lose the ball, we go back into a 4-4-2, so a lot more defensive minded, a lot harder to break down. So it kind of lets us do both on both sides of the game, offensive and defensive.
And now you face Central Arkansas again in the semis of the conference tournament this upcoming Friday. Is that an advantage or disadvantage seeing this team? I think it's going to be your third matchup within a probably 2-3 week span. Does it help with scouting, or is it difficult to find some new ways to face them?
For us, I mean, going into every game, we think we can win it. So it doesn't matter if this was the first time or the third time, we'd be just as confident either way. For me personally, I think we have an advantage because we're going to keep the same game plan. We're going to go in there confident, and nothing's really going to change on our side. We're just going to go in the same way we have, same mentality as the first two games.
Yeah, and what about the season overall? The team obviously dealt with a lot on and off the field, and you're still able to have success and produce a lot of wins. What does that say about the team and the unit to have a successful regular season in this atmosphere?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely weird. I mean, the word that we always hear and always gets thrown around is unprecedented. I mean, we've never had a time like this ever. But I think it just kind of shows our resilience and how fortunate we are to even play in a time like this where tons of Division I college teams and other divisions don't even get to play at all. So I think we just take every game one at a time, and we're grateful for it. And that shows through our results, I believe, because as you can see, it speaks for ourselves, 9-2.
What about you individually? Being that you're in a leadership role, you're upperclassman, you're a defender, and defenders tend to be captains or have a high responsibility on the pitch. What's the year been like for you personally in 2020?
Personally, I feel like it's been great. It's let us work on a lot of things that we don't normally get to. So we've had a lot more time kind of just working as a team in close quarters because we have to know all about these COVID protocols and stuff. So it's let me kind of take on more of a leadership role, whereas in the past I was more of like a being led. I enjoy kind of getting the new guys into it and getting them up to speed, and that's one of my favorite things about this year.
You think it was an advantage being a Georgian on a roster with? I've talked to Aris and Proctor and some other guys about the international students and the issues they had getting back to the United States and with everything going on. Do you think it was beneficial for you and have that leadership role since I assume you stayed in the state of Georgia probably through the summer and into the early part of the fall? Was that just helpful for you to just be a central guy for everything going on?
Definitely. It was definitely easy. My family lives about an hour and a half away, so the drive's not bad at all. So in terms of just getting back, I know a lot of the guys, like you were saying, had trouble because there were the travel regulations and all that stuff. But for me, it was real easy just to get back.
Yeah, and this is the last thing. You mentioned you're pretty close by. Why Georgia State? Because it's a roster that has guys from all over the place, yet you stayed local. What was the appeal?
Well, like I was saying with the travel time, it's like it's just far enough that it's far enough away from home that I feel like I could be independent and kind of do my own thing. But at the same time, I'm a big family guy and I love being close to my family. So I can still go see them. They try and come to every single game, especially the home ones. And then in terms of just the soccer, I mean, I feel like evidently we are the best team in Georgia. So for a guy who wanted to stay in Georgia, I mean, it was a pretty easy decision. Just play for the best team in Georgia.
Are they going to be at the matches this weekend with the conference tournament being in Atlanta?
Mm-hmm.
Will they be there?
Yeah, they will be.
Yeah, how is that for you? Just having that advantage of having your family and friends being able to see you compete.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, my whole family was pretty much born and raised in Georgia. At least I was. My father moved here early in his life, and he's lived here ever since. But just seeing them at the game, being able to perform for them, it's a big thing every single time.
And we thank Logan for his time and speaking with us today, or speaking with us earlier, but we're listening to it today, so we spoke to him today. Moving on to Georgia State volleyball. The Panthers are actually on a 4-match winning streak, had a middle of the season losing streak, but they have rebounded and now have won their past 4 matches, including 3 wins over South Alabama from November 6th through the 7th. We were able to catch up with head coach of the Panthers, Sally Polhamus, about the victories and where the team is right now.
Yeah, Sally, will start with the wins over South Alabama. We're able to get 3 victories for the team. Just overall impressions of that weekend.
Yes, so it was a huge weekend for us for a lot of reasons. One, we did an excellent job of executing our scouting report from the first point all the way to the end of the 5th set in the 3rd match. And that's something we haven't done this year yet. And we also had some of our highest offensive output throughout the whole weekend. We found sets that we eliminated or minimized our unforced errors, which has always been a key for us from day one for this season. So not only did we do the short-term things, we also did the season goals that we had set out to accomplish. So that was a big win against a team that was ranked higher than us going into the weekend. We ended up tying them conference records, so we got the seed for the tournament, the 3rd seed.
That 3rd match, you're up 2-0, and they made a comeback. What was the struggles of the team, and what does it show to win that 5th set? And what does that show you for the Panthers?
So the biggest thing that happened in sets 3 and 4 is our hitting percentage went down, but we had in set 3, we had 15 unforced errors, and you can't win against a good team having that many errors.
Yeah, and Erin Wyatt had a very big day or big weekend. She was named Freshman of the Week. She had a career high, I think, in kills and digs for a double-double in that third match. What about her development and just her addition to the team?
So, at the beginning of the year, she sprained her ankle the first week that we were playing, and she was out for 4 weeks. And so coming in and being such a key part with the 6 rotation outside hitter and having to work her way back into the lineup and, just getting comfortable back in the game. And she has worked very hard, both on and off the court, watching video, just growing her game mentally as far as IQ, shot selection. I've been really impressed with how she's grown to see past just the block and to see the defense and really finding the court, the open court, to find those kills.
You concluded your regular season with that South Alabama series. Where do you think the team, just looking at the regular season and everything the team has gone through, just your overall impressions of the squad before the conference tournament?
Well, we're on the verge of really believing, and the conference tournament is only 4 matches. And this week we're really lucky because we were able to play all 16 of our conference scheduled matches at the scheduled time. And so we have teams in our conference that are still playing out conference opponents this weekend where we have a bye. So we're doing another pyramid practice where they've got to work through the different levels and execute. And I think for our team, just having a little bit of success and not just sitting back and waiting for the next thing, we have to attack these practices. And today, we didn't achieve the pyramid, and knowing that mentally, physically, emotionally, you've got to give everything to it to beat this practice. And so today was a big day for us for understanding what we brought to the gym wasn't enough. And it's not enough to win a championship next week. And so we've got work to do this week in the mental preparation and physical preparation for our opponents.
Do you look at potential opponents, or do you not even bother with that? Because you played everybody, some of the teams that you're possibly going to see, but do you even look at that, or do you just focus on yourself, as you said, with this pyramid practices until you get down to the tournament?
It's probably 80% us and 20% our opponents. And even when we're talking about our opponents, it's still the defense that we're running and our transition offense. So it really is, bottom line, about us playing our best next week.
Yeah, now and on this, what's it been about the past few weekends? You went through a kind of a rough spell in the middle of the year, but Georgia Southern, you did well there, and then obviously South Alabama. What's been the difference over these past 2 weekends for the team as opposed to earlier in the year?
Well, winning 6 out of our last 7 has been a big confidence boost. And I think that as we went through, first Georgia Southern at home, and then App State, and then Georgia Southern again, and then South Alabama. So it's kind of been a building process of really our offense finding their kills, and our freshmen really stepping up, our seniors and our upperclassmen owning their game. So it's been a combination or a culmination really of us, our maturity, taking care of the ball. But looking at kind of the progression of all those matches has allowed our offense and defense to really grow. And I mean, that's what this week is about, is continuing to grow our offense and defense. And when we get into those tight situations, actually against South Alabama in that second set of our third match, I know that's so hard to say and crazy that we're playing 3 matches in a weekend, but we were down, it was 24-19, and we sided out and scored 6 straight points to win the set. And so couldn't be more proud of the mental toughness, the grind of that. So that's kind of what the pyramid practice builds, is that you can't take a breath during this practice or you'll drop down a level.
We also were able to speak with freshman outside hitter Erin Wyatt, who was named the conference's Player of the Week for her performances against South Alabama. And a very interesting interview, talked about the team their levels of improvement and her recruitment. She's a Texan, and how she ended up in Atlanta. So let's hear from Erin Wyatt.
All right, so Erin, the team has had a very good run over the past 2 weeks, including 3 wins against South Alabama. What's been the difference just from the earlier part in the season when you had some losses to being on a winning streak now?
I feel like we just started to like bond as a team more, and we started playing more with like intent, and everybody has just started to click more. We started to build like a team culture and like communicating more outside the court too, so we can build that dynamic. And I just feel like the team has come closer, and yeah. And I feel like every single day we come in with an intent to like practice, and we're mentally prepared as a team. And yeah.
You had a really strong weekend as well, setting career highs in kills and multiple double-doubles. Have you just felt more comfortable now as you played some more matches as a freshman and it's shown on the court?
Yeah. Yes, sir. I've definitely felt more comfortable. Earlier in the season, I faced a couple of injuries, so I didn't start playing until the second half of conference. So last weekend in like App State, I started feeling a lot like more comfortable on the court, like more connected with my teammates, and it's just like I've become more comfortable. And yeah.
You're also named Freshman of the Week by the conference. What did that mean for you to receive that honor?
It's like a huge honor because like I've been working so hard to better myself, and like I really have to thank like my teammates and my coaches because they've really pushed me to become like the player I am, the player they know I can be. So that's just like it's a huge honor because I know like I've been working so hard to like achieve that goal.
Yeah, now you have a few days off and you are preparing for the conference tournament. How's the team preparing for it? And what's the past few days of practice been like for you?
Okay, so the past few days of practice, we do this thing called pyramid practice, and there's different levels. And like if you lose a level, you go back down to the next level. So it's like a really like tough practice. Like you have to be mentally prepared. Like you have to have intent in everything you do. And so it's been a really rough couple of days, but like we got together today, like we're starting to do scout and get ready to play Little Rock, Louisiana next week. And so we're starting to watch film, scout, practice what we need to do against them so we can be successful in the tournament next week.
I talked to Sally yesterday and she said you didn't make it through the pyramid yesterday. Did you make it through today?
Yeah. Yes, we went all the way from level 1 to level 4 and completed it today. So it was like really good. Like the team came in ready to work, and it was just a really good practice overall, and the energy and the atmosphere was just really good.
What about you? You're a Texan and you're playing in Atlanta, Georgia. You came a pretty far way to play collegiately. What was that decision process like, and what led to choosing Georgia State?
Well, so I committed here in my sophomore year of high school, and it was really a tough decision, but it was also like a really easy decision because I was trying to figure out what school I wanted to go to, like what was the fit, and like a lot of schools I could tell like the team wasn't connected and the team culture just wasn't there. They just weren't connected with their coaches. And like when I came here in March of my sophomore year, and I just really saw like how the team was connected. I saw the coaches were amazing. The team was amazing. I just felt very welcome. And so that just really like pushed me to like want to go here because I just knew the atmosphere was going to be good. And it's just somewhere I can go and work and become better as a volleyball player and also a person.
And how's the first year been for you? Obviously, it's been a unique year for all of us.
Yeah.
But how are you holding up, and how's the team holding up just playing this season?
Yeah, it's been very difficult because of Corona. So there's a lot of things we can't do. But like I think the team has been doing really good. Like we're very disciplined. We've been like staying with each other. We also like one of the only teams in the conference that hasn't had any positives of Corona. So like that's also like really, really good because we've been very disciplined about like staying safe and not going out. And so it's been really good. And the team has just been ready to work.
And that concludes today's edition of the Technical State of Georgia Athletics. Thank you for joining us. As always, head to the sportsinquirer.net, premier site for news and notes in the world of sports, to see all that we are doing. Also go to our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under Sports Inquirer. That's all one word. And finally, go to your podcast provider, whether it's YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Podcast, Stitcher, all of those. Wherever you go, make sure you go there, subscribe to us, and you'll get all of our up-to-date episodes. Until next time, good fight, good night, be safe.